Have you ever felt your anger getting the best of you? How many times have you said or done something in anger that you later regretted? What if I told you that your anger could actually be transformed into wisdom? Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, believed that mastering anger is key to living a wise and peaceful life. In today's video, we're going to explore how you can take Seneca's timeless advice to turn your anger into something powerful, into wisdom. Let's start by understanding how Seneca viewed anger. To Seneca, anger is one of the most destructive emotions a person can experience. He believed that anger blinds us, making it impossible to think clearly or make good decisions. In his famous work on anger, Seneca explains that anger is like a temporary madness. It takes over our minds, pushing us to act without reason. And the worst part? Anger often leads to regret. Seneca teaches us that while it's natural to feel anger, it's what we do with that anger that matters. He believed that with self-control and wisdom, we can transform anger into something useful. So why did Seneca see anger as such a dangerous emotion? He argued that anger has the potential to destroy relationships, hurt others, and even harm ourselves. When we act in anger, we're not thinking about the long-term consequences. We say things we don't mean, make rash decisions, and create unnecessary conflict. Seneca also pointed out that anger can ruin our peace of mind. Think about the last time you were really angry. Did you feel calm and centered? Probably not. Instead, anger fills us with frustration, making us feel out of control. Seneca's wisdom teaches us that we need to recognize anger as an obstacle to our happiness. The first step in transforming anger is simple but powerful: awareness. Seneca believed that we must become aware of our anger the moment it begins to rise. This means recognizing the early signs: your heart racing, your muscles tensing, your thoughts becoming more aggressive. By noticing these signs, you can take a step back and regain control. Seneca advises us to ask ourselves, is this anger justified? Will reacting in anger improve the situation or make it worse? This pause allows us to think before we act, giving us the chance to make a better choice. When we become aware of our anger, we have the power to change how we respond to it. Seneca often talked about the importance of patience when dealing with anger. He believed that anger is a fast-moving emotion, and the faster we react, the more likely we are to make mistakes. One of his key pieces of advice is to delay your response when you're feeling angry. Take a deep breath, count to 10. Give yourself time to calm down before you say or do anything. By pausing, you allow the anger to lose its grip on you. Seneca taught that this brief moment of reflection can prevent us from acting on impulse and making choices we'll regret. Patience is a skill we can develop over time, and it's one of the most effective ways to transform anger into wisdom. Another powerful way to transform anger is by practicing empathy. Seneca believed that when we're angry at someone, we often forget that they too are human. We expect others to be perfect, and when they fall short, we become frustrated. But Seneca encourages us to put ourselves in the other person's shoes. Instead of focusing on how they've wronged us, we should try to understand why they acted the way they did. By practicing empathy, we can shift our perspective and see the situation with more clarity. This allows us to respond with understanding rather than anger. Seneca teaches us that when we replace judgment with compassion, we create more peaceful interactions and avoid unnecessary conflict. Seneca believed that every emotion, including anger, has something to teach us. When we feel angry, it's often because something isn't going the way we expected. But instead of letting that frustration control us, we can use it as a learning opportunity. Ask yourself, why am I angry? What can this emotion teach me about my own expectations or beliefs? By reflecting on these questions, we can uncover deeper truths about ourselves. Seneca's wisdom reminds us that anger can be a powerful teacher, helping us grow in self-awareness and emotional intelligence. One of Seneca's most profound teachings is the idea of forgiveness. He believed that holding on to anger only harms ourselves. When we refuse to forgive, we carry the weight of that anger, letting it affect our peace of mind. Forgiveness, on the other hand, frees us from the burden of anger. Seneca wasn't talking about forgiving others for their sake. He was talking about forgiving for our own well-being. By letting go of anger and practicing forgiveness, we can move forward without the heaviness of resentment holding us back. Forgiveness is not about excusing bad behavior. It's about freeing ourselves from the negative impact of anger. Finally, Seneca's greatest lesson on anger is that it can be transformed into wisdom. When we choose not to act in anger, we're making a conscious decision to respond with reason and self-control. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice. But with each moment of awareness, each pause, and each act of empathy, we grow wiser. Seneca teaches us that by mastering our emotions, especially anger, we gain the wisdom to live a more peaceful, fulfilling life. When anger arises, we can choose to let it go, replacing it with understanding, patience, and forgiveness. Seneca's teachings remind us that we have the power to control our emotions. Anger doesn't have to control us. It can become a tool for personal growth and wisdom. By practicing awareness, patience, empathy, and forgiveness, we can transform our anger into something much more powerful. So the next time you feel anger rising, take a deep breath, pause, and ask yourself, what can I learn from this moment? In doing so, you'll be following the wisdom of Seneca and moving one step closer to living a more peaceful, fulfilled life.